This week, chapter 13, we find Jesus sharing with us a parable about seeds, about agriculture, and I have to make a confession. I am the worst at growing plants. I don't know what it is. There's just something about me. My wife and I, we're the worst. We've tried so many times that, just simply like tomatoes or peppers, and we'll get them to come up and they'll be a little lackluster, and then like we'll try to do it the next year and just nothing. I mean, we're just the worst. I always joke that we don't have green thumbs, we have black thumbs. We kill everything. You look at our backyard now, and we had these great plans for trees and bushes, and they're all dead, and it's just so depressing. So when Jesus starts using this story about good seed and thorny seed and rocky soil, I start to go, well, I know what it's like to kill a plant, but what would it be like if a plant actually grew? How amazing would that be? But that's where we find Jesus. He starts talking about a sower scattering seed, and he starts to talk about different soil. So that's where we find Jesus this week, where he starts to share this parable about soil and about seed. And he says, a sower goes out and starts to scatter seed, and some of the seed falls on soil that's rocky, and it says that the seed shoots up, but there's not much root, so it withers and it dies. And then he says some of it falls among thorns, and as it comes up healthy, but the thorns start to choke out the seed and it dies. And he says some falls on a pathway, and before it even has a chance to shoot up, all these birds come and eat it. And he says that's kind of like the evil one. And he says, but sometimes the seed finds good soil. And he likens that to the hearts of the hearers. He goes, you're going to share this message of the kingdom, and all different types of people are going to hear the message. And it says, some of them, they'll accept it with joy, and then they'll lose it, or they'll accept it quickly and then it'll be choked out, or some of them just won't even hear it. But some will hear, and it'll produce fruit. It'll produce an abundance. And that's what God wants to see in our lives. As Jesus talks about this parable, it's almost like he's encouraging us to be that type of soil, that type of good soil, that when we hear the gospel, we receive it and we start to share it, and we start to see it grow, and we start to see it reproduce, and we start to see people around us come to know who Jesus is because of what's going on in our life. And so we are encouraged to work at being that good soil, to allow God to, till things in our heart, allow God to clear things out so that we can be that good soil, so that we can produce that good fruit that comes from when we hear the gospel and we receive it in our life with goodness. So we want to encourage you, allow God to work in your hearts. Allow God to make your heart into good soil.